really solid Counter-Strike. I think they're playing pretty close to their ceiling at this stage.
Yeah, and consider the fact that Luminosity could have very well have won that. They were in the lead, and the entire series was just INTZ fighting back to get map wins in that series. And obviously you had the amazing KNG ace that put them over the edge.
Yeah.
So if Luminosity avoid those kind of miraculous happenings, acts of God, if you like, then they could very easily have been in the driver's seat.
AbleJ going to give them the early advantages with USP. Running headshot from Neckers will quickly turn the tides. USP going to trade hands too, but now Art's made a move around the backside. We know he likes these plays.
So uncanny. He just keeps doing it, but nice responses coming out of Luminosity here. Bolt has been able to get out of A-Apps as well. So A-Bomb side nearly in control. You do have Kisarado nearby. And it is the two heavy hitters on the side of FURIA here. Still alive, at least for the time being. Yuri left alone, 1v3. Bomb's going to go down as well, and he does not have a defuse kit.
Ooh, nearly flicking across to Bolts. That would have been something truly spectacular if he landed both frags, but now his position is known. It's going to be a triple stack facing him. Doing a little bit of chip damage through the boxes. Not much penetration with these bullets, though, from the USP, and Luminosity will convert their advantage. They take the first round in this second map, which is massive for their momentum going forward.
Absolutely. Nuke is playing a vital part there. First getting the trade when Phelps goes down, and then the follow-up on the backstabbing Art in top mid. Quick response from Luminosity as well to just go for the boost up by underpass to get vision up to top mid. Very nicely dealt with. Well, 2 SMGs, 3 AKs. Art's already on a bit of an adventure again. Majority of Luminosity gathering mid control, and will do so rather uncontested. AbleJ just jumping away.
Oh, hold on. Art's got round the back.
Of
He's
course
got round
he
the back
has.
to steal.
Of course, yeah. Oh, it's going to be a knife kill. That's so much money.
Oh, jeez, man. Steal must be like, guys, how is that possible?
Time and time again.
It just does have this knack of getting round the back of players.
It's yeah, it's pretty remarkable, but Luminosity have managed to stabilize. It's down to a 1v3 in case Arado only has a USP. He's done significant damage, though.
But hold on. Both of these players are in range of the USP now. This is doable. This is very possible. He's just chipped Neckers down to 4. Bolt's on 18. This would be an unbelievable upset of a round if Kisarado can pull this out the hat. He's doing yet more damage, but he's also taking some too. One tick of that Molotov's going to be death. And Bolts is going to claim the final frag. They can all breathe a collective sigh of relief.
That got very dicey. It went from being a very controlled 1v4 to all of a sudden being very scary. Kisarado with some crisp aim there to put him in a position where he could actually turn it around. So, though, it remains with just the fear of potential defeat for Luminosity, but there's a lot of cash gained, and you can see Art's been able to get a AWP and Kevlar to his name with an additional Molotov as well, with that knife kill onto Steel. So late pick into mid, considering there was no window smoke. If he only knew. He's going to miss out the opportunity on Phelps. There the Molotov comes out from Neckers to clear him out.
The form he's on, you expect him to land that shot onto Delpan. Yeah. Instead, he'll live to fight another day, Will Phelps.
Luminosity get lucky in that situation for sure. Now they've gained mid control as a result, and they still have a lot of utility here to work with. We saw Phelps being pretty much the one setting the pace for Luminosity versus INTZ through mid. This time, though, it's going to be Steel awaiting Yuri's aggression. This time, though, they know about Phelps' I guess, standard route through mid. Usually ends up in CPL. Art waits for him.
Of course, Art's going to push in. And of course, he's going to connect the headshot. You'd have it no other way. Able with a really rough spray, though. Neckers going to do the best he can in this situation. Suddenly, it's turning away from them. Vinny pushes through the smoke. That's the bomb dropped out into an awkward position. The terrorists aren't entirely sure as to where that second player is residing in CT, so it's keeping them on their tiptoes. They're very pensive in their onslaught. Now they're going to go for the plant. They know both players are over here. Flashbang over.
Has his Suze as well. Don't think we're going to see it being put into action, but
They line up, though. This AK certainly can. They're going to line up. And here comes Bolts with a double spray. FURIA had chances, and they've all gone awry.
And I feel like there's going to be a lot of screaming going on here. As we get into the map, you can hear Zach raising his voice significantly. It's a good start for Luminosity, being able to fend off the first buy round from FURIA. Doing so on their T side as well. Bolts 7-0. In the previous matches, it's been Steel and Phelps, oftentimes to lead Luminosity off to a good start. Now we're getting to see some of the other players on Luminosity shine. Again, it's pistols on FURIA.
Oh, Phelps thought that was a flash. Originally, I think he turned his back and it stalled his push. AK picked up. Vinny spotting more potential victims. And he's landing kills left and right. Vinny's not lost a single point of health. And he is the Reaper of 3 players. That is unbelievable.
Yeah, Luminosity being a little bit arrogant to assume that Vinny's not going to push forward after finding the first kill with the smoke laid down. Turning their back to Catwalk ends up being their demise. Even though this was definitely, out of all the rounds we've seen so far, this was probably not the one that FURIA had any shot at. It's such a good position now. 5v2. Only one weapon retrieved, but just the manpower in itself should be enough for them to close down the 2 remaining LG players.
It's all about killing as many as possible now, even if they concede the round, because for every player that survives, it's going to be an extra weapon picked up to go forward for FURIA, which bolsters their economy that much more. There's plenty of AKs and assault rifles in middle as it stands. So how many more kills can Bolts add? How many more notches on the belt?
Is he just going to opt to save as well at a certain point? You'd have to imagine. So if he sticks around in mid just to kind of prevent them from picking up easy AKs, could be one play. You've seen Yuri has no intention of actually going for this. He knows he's going to win the round, so there's no reason to potentially sacrifice that AK. Bolt's just making sure that he stays around where the AKs were dropped as well.
Yeah. He's trying to be a vulture. He's waiting for one of these players to come and overextend to pick up an AK. That's exactly what's happening. Just a Mac 10 he's got. So actually, Bolts does a really good job at the end.
Absolutely. Here you go, though. Vinny, what a hero play here. Just connecting that first bullet, such a big thing. You can see just Luminosity seem to think that that's a wall, more or less. Finding Henny through the smoke as a follow-up as well. Great job from Vinny on Catwalk. That means FURIA back to a pretty healthy buy right off the bat. Art once again with a Molotov, no, with an op. Just throw out the Molotov this time like it did in the previous one. Well, Phelps with the Galil, Bolts with an AK, and it's going to be the AK that gets put into action early on. Here we go. Steel finds Vinny as well on window. He's going to follow that up as well. So the trades are actually favoring Luminosity here. And they've actually dragged the entirety of the FURIA side over towards that A-bomb side, and that's not where they're finding themselves right now. Henny's going to dive out as quickly as possible. That's why he drops the bomb back further, because he wants to get forward positioning. Quesarado might not be there in time.
It's a good... I was going to say counter flash, but it's actually tossed in by the terrorists. Henny has been spotted. He needs his teammate to come in and give him some backup, but it's now the AWP. It's not ideal for a retake. Art does like to play aggressive, though. Going to be going through the smoke. Just on the periphery.
Another smoke he can go through.
Misses the shot, though. Position now compromised, and Henny puts a bullet in his head. What a strange round for FURIA. Steel with 2 opening picks. So vitally important.
Yeah. You'd think that most of it would be focused around the weapons that they had. Phelps with the Galil, Bolts with an AK. And Bolts does pick up one frag very early on from A-Pit, but it's the rotation that comes in that allows for for Steel to find 2 frags with a Deagle that just seals it. Very impressive. And sharp shooting come out of the Luminosity boys as well with the pistols to make that a possibility. Steel with a bit of a bungled smoke actually for top mid. Lands on top of the little ledge on Catwalk, which allows for Art to actually spot legs.
He was a bit stubborn to still push through it, knowing that it was messed. Lost him his life. Oh, Phelps, that's filthy.
Yeah.
Abel J has every right to be salty about that one.
Definitely so, and it's kind of interesting to see here now that it's Henny picked up the op after saving the previous round, and obviously it could have been a swap around for a good spawn that Phelps had towards Pit, but is still holding on to the op. Bit of a change up here. Henny didn't have the most impact in the world on Vertigo. Obviously, we talked about how that was a pretty tough map to play with an op, but even going into Mirage here, it's going to be Phelps stunning the green. Okay, Serato posted up as a sole defender over towards B on the corner of one of the back pillars towards window. He's actually going to be assisted now. Vinny rotating in.
And no longer the sole guardian. He has an extra player at his disposal. K Serato takes the head clean off Neckers.
A little bit too quick on the trigger there.
Nearly gets the second. That was a millimeter off. Phelps putting the AWP down range and making it work. Almost Vinny spoilt for choice. We're shooting between the middle of them. That's going to allow them to get this bomb planted. They're looking to try the jump onto short if Yuri can get into ladder room first, which they've successfully done. May actually boost up onto the box with the AWP to peek around, but it's not required. Here comes Phelps. There's a missed shot. I thought he connected that one, and it's going to cost him his life. Yuri comes in, claims the frag. They don't have any kits just yet, but they should have more than enough time to defuse. So FURIA, with 2 AWPs, are going to make themselves 4-2 behind.
So, not the ideal buys. A lot of the time winning out the rounds here in the early stages of map number 2. Here we'll definitely take that though. And now for the first time we're actually seeing Luminosity being favored by GT.bet odds-wise.
Very tight.
7-8, yeah, definitely so. We were feeling hopeful about Luminosity's chances here on Mirage, considering what they showed us on Vertigo. So far, they're doing a good job of it. This time, though, it might be a little bit tougher to get another round on the board immediately. An AK on Phelps, but majority pistols.
Molotovs and HE's behind it. The damage is considerable, and it's too much for Henny.
Yeah, they just didn't actually put out the Molotov early enough. That's a bit of a blunder. Kills the entire momentum of the push as well. Phelps, though, it's kind of straight off from the rest of the pack here. He found a lot of success versus Ince, moving up through the connector area. He is going to have to be the man leading the charge here for Luminosity if they're going to find some success in this one.
Well, the lineup was nearly on the cards. Yuri certainly spotted Steele behind Phelps, who took the bullets for him. Neck is still struggling with just 13 health.
Look at Able J with the off angle here in Abs. That's definitely going to catch a fair few Luminosity players off guard. Misses the first shot, but at least gets one.
Yeah, I feel like that actually cost him his life. He probably would have had a double spray pretty comfortably, but he got a bit too antsy, snatched at it.
Okay, Serato, though, hasn't been antsy at all. He's been covering that B Apps entirety of the round. Bolt's just going to swing out into A-Pit and he's going to run into Yuri. Actually wins out that duel, but Art's there to reply.
Yep, strength in numbers approach. FURIA get themselves one step closer, and it should be bridged. Luminosity not going to have a buy to play with in round 8. They're going to be on pistols and nothing else.
Yeah, much needed round for FURIA to build up their economy a little bit, especially if they're going to run double ops the entirety of their CT setup. It's going to cost a lot to replenish that. Let's see what kind of idea Luminosity has for this. They only had one smoke that gets thrown out for top mid. And that works. Okay, yeah. If you can, why not?
The one Desert Eagle they possess has drilled Yuri out of the round. He is one of the biggest threats to contend with. Art flicks across, not going to be connecting on this time of asking. Lining up a nade. No one's close enough to really be affected by that, but there wasn't another one, I believe, tossed out from a short from Vinny. That's doing the bulk of the damage. He's been smoked out. Luminosity do have their hands on the M4. I think it dropped favorably down from window.
Yeah, it did. So Bolt has gotten his hands on that. And he's also the one with Kevlar. So aim punch might not be as big of a factor. And K Serato's getting in a lot of valuable information here.
So patient. Love to see that play. Going in for more. The grenade's going to obliterate them. A bit unfortunate not to get more kills. I think the wall saved them quite a few times, but Art is going to be the arbiter of their doom as he comes in and cleans up the rest. Janitorial duties.
Last time we saw Bolts in a situation like this, he was able to rack up a few kills on Vertigo. And again, just keeping the economy honest at the CT side is going to be very big for him, so he's definitely going to take his time to see if he can find an additional one. Question is, though, does he expect AbleJ? And, well, him pulling out the knife is a pretty good indication of that being no.
You know, it's really solidly placed because AbleJ can allow the other two teammates to just sit on the site. They know that he has no way of retreating and rotating to the other side of the map. So they had him locked down, 4-4. Very shaky start on the side of FURIA, but it seems they are stabilizing now.
A little bit, at the very least. Let's see if Luminosity can bounce back, though, once they get weapons in their hands. So, up, back, and Henny's. Right now, it's not going to be Phelps to don it. I think this is more comfortable territory for Henny as well, hopping on Mirage.
Yeah, plus I think they need the dynamism of Phelps and how aggressive he can play with the AK-47.
Might not
Maybe
need
he's
him at
not
all.
needed. Bolts is just firing on all cylinders. I think he's up to 15 frags already. He is having a stormer of a game, and there's another
Steals
one
that away.
with the AK, with the nade. The guy is a Terminator at this stage, and he's in the back away with 31 HP. He's already left his mark.
It's been a while since we've seen Bolts have a pop-off game like this. It's definitely the right time, and you can already tell Phelps has moved out on the B bomb side. He's got full control over that. It's going to be an easy bomb plant. And FURIA probably already have it in the back of their heads that they want to hold on to these two AUGs. Okay, Nick is still a little bit worried. He should be aware of the fact that Phelps has been down there for the better part of 30 seconds. Bomb will eventually get planted. Now the question comes in whether or not Luminosity feel comfortable enough actually hunting for weapons. In the previous series that we've seen them play so far, they've been fairly conservative about how they go about this on their T sides. They rather hold on to their own weaponry and allow for the CT side to actually save a fair few times, even when it's, I guess, not necessarily justified as well.
Well, saving does allow them to pick up the fallen AWP. Serato will be running with it outside the round. And Luminosity, additionally, like, well, let's not throw away our economy here. Let's just play this one safe. We're going to have the lead 5-4. We're in good position on the T side. Let's continue to turn in screws and apply the pressure. Really on a razor's edge, this Mirage. And remember, if Luminosity can survive and take us to a third map, it's Inferno, which I've got to say, that's a mouth-watering prospect.
Absolutely.
Inferno map 3 between these two teams.
Feels like it always delivers, right?
But of course, Luminosity still need to get there.
Well, having Bolts playing like this definitely does take you a long way. 60 kills to his name right now. We're only into round 10.
That's ridiculous.
A lot of heavy lifting on now the former IGL of Luminosity. Cross smoke and stair smoke is going to go down. So it seems like the pretty standard A execute here coming out from Luminosity. Bolts once again is going to get the better of AbleJ. He just seems unstoppable up in apps.
It's a big kill by Vinny, though, onto Bolts. And he's the main man that has been silenced momentarily. Yuri, though, on the receiving end of Phelps' AK. Slight gap in the smoke, but Vinny's got his second kill with the MP5. Won't be playing any further role, though. Henny has squashed him. Serato. Trajectory of that grenade will give his position away to Henny that he's in connector. At this stage, I think Serato saves. I mean, getting back onto the site is such a difficult task.
Oh, yeah. Steal. Settle on a completely unspotted position as well towards CT spawn. Just having to deal with Henny, who's only got one avenue to really look at as well. Just going to toss away the op as well, so there's no chance that blows towards Serato with the bomb coming in. Just very heads up from the Luminosity gang. Well then, Luminosity seeming like they're getting a grip of the game here. Again, already looking to build a pretty solid T side. 6 rounds to their name, and you can see it's largely off the back of a man named Bolts. 147.8 ADR, 17 frags to his name. And again, a lot of these are, you know, it's not saving frags. It's not people running into him on ecos. It's actual impact frags. every time he moves up in apps.
I need to put that in context. The rest of his team collectively have 19 kills.
There you go.
Like,
some quick maths.
This is someone real carry by bolts.
And it's good to see as well. It's been rather quiet. We've been talking a lot more about the likes of Phelps and Steele. Obviously, it's not a bad thing that they're performing, but the more the merrier.
Nekiz may be overwhelmed.
Oh, I think he spotted the one close by as well.
Flash in, knows exactly what's coming up. He's played this so very well, but Art gets two.
And Caserado.
What is going on? Luminosity have collapsed.
And again, it's
blinking, you'd have missed it.
And again, it's to, you know, a mixed buy. It's the saved AK from Caserado that obviously gets 2 kills, but Art with the pistol finding 3.
I can only assume that they were stacked together on ramp, and he hit Steel in the head and then shifted across to the second plane. Maybe we're going to find out here. Yeah, indeed we will. So,
it's just, wild firing through the
just
smoke.
Blind panic fire, lands 2, then Caserado on short just destroys the rest. Unreal.
That's 2 rounds now that Luminosity have lost to a majority of pistols. You had the Vinny round as well, right? On Catwalk, finding 3 kills.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. And this was Luminosity's for the taking. They were in a prime position to net themselves a 7th round. Obviously looking to win out the first half. Putting themselves in a prime position, really, to bring it to Inferno.
But now that loss has burnt a hole in their pocket and all the money is spilled out. It's only Steel that has $1,000. This is a much-needed round to remedy the situation. Phelps is going to go in with 2 as Art misses the point-blank range shot. Steel shimmying, collects onto Able J. Wasn't anticipating the double stack, but Yuri, it does seem like a consolation frag at best. The rest of his team has been sent packing.
It's so important for Luminosity to be able to bring this back immediately. We turn our minds back to the initial match that they had on Mirage here at the Minor. It was versus INTZ, and they ended up having a much better T side than their CT side in that one. And at that stage, 9 was not enough. Caserado can only really hope to save here. Potentially grab a frag or 2 if anyone rotates past him. It's like Nickis might have an idea that somebody might be in the corner.
Caserado needs to impose some damage, but whiffing that spray is brutal. I mean, it is against bolts. He is basically immortal at this stage in the game. But you can see just how much FURIA is struggling on their CT side. As you rightly said, 2 rounds went off the back of a huge Vinny performance with the deagle into the AK, and then that ridiculous USP round with the AK-47.
Yeah.
If those 2 rounds don't come down, you're looking at a landslide halftime score here for Luminosity.
Definitely are, and Luminosity kind of need it as well, though, on the backside of it. 9 rounds versus INTZ, and still managing to drop the ball on the second half on the defending side. Obviously, you would imagine that SAC has gone through a fair few of the mistakes that they made defending versus INTZ on Mirage. But again, just dropping the ball here and there adds up to so much. And I think during the pregame of today's show, you know, after we saw the interview with Food, talking about how they're not too far off the level of the likes of FURIA and those kind of teams. It is these kind of mistakes that come back to haunt you for these up-and-coming teams. Once again, pistols find openings. Oh, okay then, Nekius.
Yeah, they ran into the 4-player stack on A. Neck is very fortunate to get 2 kills. And
through a smoke.
Off the back of those 2 kills, it's now very much open. This round is anybody's. You'd say firepower-wise, it definitely favors Luminosity. Nade-wise, definitely favors them.
You do have to go up against Caserado, though.
Perched on the bench. He's waiting.
He's good for multi-kill here. That could just be everything for FURIA.
Depends if FURIA, or Luminosity, pardon me, do check the bench. If they just run straight in with a couple of flashbangs, that may not be enough, because he's going to be shielded from the brunt of them. He's going to clear up pretty fast. And there's the first spray. He's not quite able to claim the kill onto Henny. He's taking so much nade damage now. Another flashbang rains in. It does hit Phelps, but he's still able to hit the mark. Yuri onto Henny, who was already weakened by Quesarado. Bring us back into a 2-on-2. Bomb's now going to get planted. Neck is close angle. Has to contend with 2. Can only go 1. Yuri takes a lot of damage in the process, though. A couple bullets and he's a dead man. He's already got 2 in this round. Can he go 1 better? The answer's no. Phelps, of course, holds the line.
Phelps getting into it. Not only Bolts showing up here now for Luminosity. Bring a much-needed round back. It looked a little bit dicey there until Nexus finds 2 connections through the smoke. Can't really rely on that every single time. There we go. That's just like the ultimate lineup. Nexus as well. Having a good game here. I'm thinking make it to 10. This really is anybody's game. Luminosity playing in damn fine Mirage so far, barring a few mishaps here and there. Bolts now up to 19.
Oof. The slam dunk nade onto Vinny. Takes the brunt of it. Arts has been...
He's just, yeah, unstoppable right now. It is pistols after all, but the adjustments he's making just tells you he's kind of in that zone. Quesarado left alone once more, but no AK to potentially spur him on to something fantastic. Phelps is already waiting around the corner.
Well, 9 rounds is a certainty on the side of Luminosity. Quesarado is being a real pain in the ass, but he's finally been put down. So are we going to have that elusive 10-5 scoreline, as you said, on the T side of Mirage? That would be a huge result.
Be quite something for Luminosity here. And you would imagine that their CT sides looks a little bit more up to pace here on day 2. As you can see, Bolts just clearing out that entirety of the A bomb site by his lonesome.
He is in some ruthless form. He's taking no prisoners.
21-7. Look at this from FURIA, though. A whole train coming in through underpass, and this might not be expected by Luminosity with the quick pace that they're having towards the B bomb site.
This is such a nuts read as well. They completely bit down on it being a B hit. Yuri's still alive. He's going to draw the attention elsewhere. Now the cavalry is arriving. Nekis has no idea that Art is on the prowl, but Steel does spin around and claim his head. The HP favors FURIA, especially now that Phelps has taken a ton of damage from Vinny with the A1S. Steel is able to capitalize on Vinny, who was vulnerable, while cleaning up the kill into Phelps. And now Quesarado, he's going for the long con. He's rotating all the way round towards short.
The fact that Luminosity have been able to make this into 1v1 with how hard of a read FURIA had on this is stunning, really. Still does have the bomb on his back as well, so he's free to go pretty much anywhere he feels like. Might just be moving right into the crosshairs of Quesarado.
This is such a nutty call by Quesarado, knowing so much time is left. Is it likely that Steel would have just gone for the plant? Oh, he's heard him, and he's going to frag him in midair. It will still be 9-6 at halftime to Luminosity on the T side, certainly with a big advantage on their choice of map.
Yeah, no, fantastically played by Luminosity for the better part of it. Again, outside of 2 hiccups, really. But they can feel pretty confident as they move into to the second half, getting to play the CT side of Mirage. But for now, we're going to have a minute-and-a-half break. But when we can come back, we'll continue on with the conclusion of map number 2.
We are back live on Mirage. Second half on the horizon. 9-6 in favor of Luminosity, who now take the CT side. And it is looking like if they can convert this second pistol, then we may indeed be heading to the glory of Inferno.
Absolutely, and I wouldn't be opposed to that as it stands right now. Luminosity are playing very well. Remains to be seen if they can continue that going into the CT side. That's where it all fell apart versus INTZ on day one. But it feels like we've seen a stronger Luminosity, honestly, today. It hasn't necessarily just been the Phelps show to carry them through. Well, I guess it's been the Bolts show right now.
Oh, this has been Bolts' house. Like,
yeah.
he is evicting everybody.
He really is. And but that's a good thing. Again, it means you have more to play off of because, well, on average, players like Steel, players like Phelps have really been doing a whole lot of the lifting for Luminosity. So in we go. A execute coming out from FURIA.
Damage inflicted. Hasn't been converted just yet, but Vinny, the bloodlust has descended. He's going in for kills, and he's not going to be satisfied until he has that Glock go to town.
It's Bolts on the quick flank. Steel is notorious for that.
Oh, that flashbang, but it's still going to be Vinny landing shots. It's blind, it's panic fire. Yuri now into Neckers and also Henny. Leaving Bolts. If there's one man in this situation, you'd want it's him, but he's about to get flanked from Yuri, who pops up out of apps. And Palace and destroys him. So the second pistol isn't going to go the way of Luminosity after all.
Oh. Solid execute there from FURIA. Henny not being able to get any sort of connections on the initial take there. Puts them a bit on the back foot, and obviously a good flash to kind of force the issue from FURIA's side to pressure CT control. That's all they really needed to win out that round as we go into their first anti-eco. 3 rifles again to MAC-10s. And actually very, very conservative approach from Luminosity. Pretty much no investment at all.
B is swelling with terrorists. And there's only Steel at the back of the site that's trying to perch his team back into this round. He's been dealt with comprehensively with an MAC-10. And Able J is going in for more. Money in the bank. Round secure.
There you go. Now the real test is about to come up, though, for FURIA. We'll see if they actually hold on to these MAC-10s going into it, looking at this as a bit of a bonus round, because they have to assume that this is going to be buy coming in from Luminosity's side. There's no head armor, no armor at all, no upgraded pistols really on the side of Luminosity in that previous round. But again, with this kind of an early purchase, it does mean a little bit less utility than what you normally like, and also a very, well, small likelihood of actually finding an op anywhere on the field.
This buy is to counter FURIA if they do keep MAC-10s, because only one player has a lack of head armor.
That's a shallow Molotov that actually wouldn't have spread up to the top corner if Neckis wanted to get a bit more of an aggressive position towards mid, but he's going to play passively. Tucked away into a corner. We saw him working that position versus INTZ as well.
Luminosity double stack just outside a connector, and he was occupying stairs. Now going to turn his attention towards mid. Neck is thinking maybe about going for a peek. The smoke is going to subside shortly and fade away.
Did they hear the tag sound there? If they did, they might be aware of this being a possibility. They definitely know Yuri's there now. Necky's down. They have to be worried about CPL at some point here. Henny's currently a little bit labored for space with the Molotov down.
Ooh, it was a gamble peak that could have paid off in dividends, but instead it's FURIA with a 2-player advantage. They're going to start to close their fist on A. Bolts alone on CT boxes, waiting for Steel to make a move, but he's been found by Vinny.
Yeah. And that's FURIA just having full control, really, of any sort of retake avenue for Luminosity way before they actually get the bomb down. Making a retake all that much harder. So it's going to be saving weapons that's on the checklist for Luminosity here. So you can take at least 2 rifles into the next round. Very unlikely that they're going to buy up behind it, though.
I'm a bit surprised that they haven't sent Case Serato off on a killing mission.
Killing spree, yeah.
You've got a MAC-10, you want to change that to an AK anyway. May as well just go in, all guns blazing, see if you can take one of these M4s away.
That is definitely true. I would 100% agree on that.
He has traded to an M4 now, fair enough.
Okay, well, if that was always in, like, in the cards, then it makes a little bit more sense. Free upgrade. The young Brazilian. There we go, 9-9, so right back into equal numbers. And it's FURIA now in the driving seat. We'll see how efficient they can be on their T side. We're able to get it done on Vertigo as well over on their T side without necessarily throwing out too many different looks to Luminosity. We've seen Luminosity having their fair share of issues on the CT side of Mirage already in this tournament. See if it's going to be remaining pretty cookie cutter. Players dropping down into underpass. Don't think that was noticed as well, but they do have Vinny just holding it as a bit of a safety. That's a nice bait setup as well.
Yeah, love that. The expendable player goes in first, and then you got the support with the M4 to fire through the kill. They have picked up an AK in the process, but K-Serrato holding the tight angle. There's a smoke going in. That's going to draw their fire away. K-Serrato sprays. Very nearly claims a second kill, but it's going to be bolts that falls down elsewhere. And now Phelps on 14 health. Going to try and save the M4. So FURIA continue to push down the pressure going in for the jugular. They're going to retake the lead.
Back in the lead once more. Pressure's going to be more so on the side of Luminosity here to be able to come back on their CT side. Even if Phelps doesn't manage to stay alive for this one, he will have the opportunity to buy up in the upcoming round. So it's not going to be the end of the world, but it's obviously a fair bit of cash saved. Could allow him actually to drop an op over to the hands of Henny as well.
A very important round is coming up. Luminosity going to have a super healthy buy, but what can they do with it? Because so far, FURIA have been unstoppable. This is 4 rounds in a row. They're starting to pick up momentum, pick up speed, and also, importantly, a bank balance. Only Vinny on 3.5k. Everyone else is very wealthy indeed. So you're looking at 2 or 3 buys coming up anyway for FURIA. There is no easy way out for Luminosity.
Yeah, and I mean, the second the bank depletes, then you got loss bonus kicking in for FURIA as well, and likelihood of them not getting into sort of bomb planted, you know, for 4 or 5 rounds in a row, not the most likely. Yeah, they're definitely in a good position here. Henny on top of the ticket booth. He's gonna net the first kill. Already some resistance being shown here.
Yeah, the peak preceding the flashbangs is always a risky endeavor. Has been punished with his life. Can Art come through clutch for FURIA? Bolts up in the smoke. Art's going to use a smoke for his sanctuary. The spray is off, and it goes awry. K-Serrato, the only FURIA member to have got any kind of success in this round with a kill. The bomb's dropped in a horrible spot too. Slap bang in the middle of A. So many angles that you have to watch out for. And the smoke's beginning to deplete. Neither of the FURIA players have a smoke at the disposal. There are flashbangs, there is a Molotov. And Abel J's going to take the fight for the CTs. There's one, but it's a one and done. K-Serrato damaging up through the boxes. Does get the kill into Phelps. Just a wild spray, but steal. Definitely not anticipating the player up in ladder.
Yeah. A little bit curious as to what Phelps wanted to do with the rotation through there. Probably thought the smoke would keep him safe, but a little bit unnecessary with them having the bomb down as well. Odds, though, they have shifted since we've last saw them, or seen them. Since we last saw them, yes. The GD.bet odds now favoring FURIA. We saw for a period of time there, it was favoring Luminosity. That was obviously when they were still in the lead.
Yeah, I believe that was at the start when they were like 4-1 in the lead, and it was looking pretty ominous. But things have changed since then. The dynamic of this map has gone in favor of FURIA. That being said, though, conceding the last round does give a few question marks, hence the tactical timeout.
FURIA's been one of those teams that have been pretty good, actually, at using their timeouts.
Yeah, they've done well at kind of steadying the momentum and not letting it get too carried away. That's just one round that Luminosity have won. Instantly timeout. What can we do differently?
Exactly. Flashes come into mid. Definitely spotted one player going down there. Still going to win out the duel, though. He's just fully committed. Phelps actually finds one before he gets traded out by Vinny as well. So, well, for how much of an awkward position Luminosity was put in there, they still managed to get out with flying colors. Still doesn't even take too much damage that entire process.
Yeah, a real scrappy fight. Does go in favor of Luminosity, but for how much longer? Serato very aggressively up close. Nekis, flashbangs. We're dealing with him, courtesy of Vinny. Smoke deployed into the exit point from Kitchen as Luminosity are concerned, and also one in the window. So this clumps up the remaining CTs all together. None of them can burst out just yet. They're going to be waiting for those smokes to clear. Grenade goes in, bit of shrapnel damage to Bolts. Also Steel's taking a little bit too. This is starting to get very dangerous. Molotov toss to the back of bench is going to cordon off that area, but Serato is holding a different angle. Yuri's doing work too off the site, and his kill may have just finalized this round with Luminosity dipping out, piecing out, tapping out, and going to try and hold on to the AWP and the Orc.
Yeah. Nuke has been in a position where he's put basically just on flee mode the entire time. It makes it so difficult for Luminosity to get any sort of rotation in time. So even with the successful mid-presence and finding a favorable trade there, just not enough to hold on. If you're too quick to actually rotate over towards the B-bomb site. Back in the lead once more. But again, with the saved weapons, Luminosity looking to reinvest here.
And this certainly is a roll of the dice, Van. We've talked at length about Luminosity's double AWP setup. It's had very mixed results.
Yeah, it worked very well on Dust 2. Overpass and Vertigo, not so much. See, though, Phelps hasn't had the kind of standout game that he's been having pretty much in every instance for Luminosity so far. Maybe this is what brings him back into the fold.
And unfortunately, Bolts has slowed down somewhat too from his rampant T-half. Steel, oh, he's checking the angle.
Doesn't expect a second player there as well.
That is brutal. Can Phelps stop them?
No.
No, and that's a shot you've got to hit, Vendetta. A lot was riding on that.
It really is, and I think he's so much better off with a rifle in that scenario, regardless. He played the same position in INTZ as well, like around the back pillar towards window. Just never able to connect any of his shots, and that's such a big investment as well. You can see the rest of the Luminosity players just backing out. They know that this is a bit of a hopeless case to go for a retake.
Yeah, plus because they went for 2 AWPs, it left both Phelps and Henny on very low utility. I think they both just had a smoke. So the position that Phelps is in, if you have an M4 or an AUG, you can toss an incendiary in there, a HE, a smoke, a flash, anything you so choose, but he felt compelled to stand his ground.
So the lamp actually took, well, 90% of the damage from the AWP shot away. He took 10 damage from that AWP connection. That's rough.
The lamp's made of...
Oh, he's not going to duck out further? Oh, he might die for this.
That's awkward.
Okay, Henny stays alive. That got a little bit dicey.
So today we learned that the lamps are made of pure iron.
Yeah, something to that effect. It's definitely not glass surrounding them, that's for sure. Here we see Steel swings wide, expecting Serato to be alone. The double up also gets the better of Phelps, so pretty easy B-bomb take there for FURIA.
I mean, even if Phelps does hit one of the shots, because they were double peeking him, he dies anyway. He definitely gets avenged. So if, the site's gonna be falling whichever way you spin it.
Yeah, he doesn't have the luxury of ducking in and out as he would do with a rifle.
He was caught with his pants down. There's no doubting it. Tactical timeout again.
See if Luminosity can have the same kind of trend after grabbing a pause as Furia's had. And they need it right now. Otherwise, Furia looking to run away with this. Saving these weapons, it will mean that there's going to be a reinvestment every single time for Luminosity to bring it back as quickly as possible. But you can tell, like, the money's looking so good for Furia.
Yeah, as we said, I mean, there's no easy way out for Luminosity. They're going to have to battle through rifle rounds. Damage being inflicted, but it's going to be Art that comes out second best.
Furia's clearly found an affinity for this B-bomb site, constantly pushing it. And yet again, they're going to have a go. It's Henny this time, and Steel, not Nekis. Well, the result is just about the same, though. As Henny drops the bomb, that's a big kill. Still, trades going back and forth, down to 2v2.
I love that Henny had the trigger discipline not to shoot instantly when the flashbangs rained in. It gave him the opportunity to relocate, have the element of surprise that an AWP may not be on the B side. Now things are starting to clear up with smokes being exchanged, and Bomb is dropped towards bench. This is a bit awkward for FURIA. Yuri's also pretty low. They don't have any more grenades at their disposal. They can't flash out, they can't burst out, but a kill is going to alleviate a lot of the pressure. Nekis goes down. It's all on Henny. He needs one of these players to peek him, and there we go. Serato shoulder peeked him. Here comes the second. It's Yuri. Can use this bench as his sanctuary. Peeks up one too many times and misses the flicks. That's the problem with Henny. Another day he lands both of them and he looks like a god, but today is not that day.
Oh, he's been having a rough series. Definitely not hitting his stride, as you can see. He's sitting on 9 frags, not being able to give Luminosity that extra little push they need. FURIA make it to 13. And I mean, this is pretty much all the money that Luminosity had. As you can see, most players sitting around 1 to 2K. That's not going to net you too much cash here. They're still going to opt in for it. It's a mag 7 on Steel. Up on Henny, and there we go. That's a flick. It's more into his comfort zone.
He's thinking, why didn't I do that last round?
Well, redemption might be right around the corner. Pretty low on utility on the side of Luminosity as well. No Molotovs at all, actually, and no flashes. So we're setting up for a retake. Could be really, really hard. They just need to take the fight to FURIA before they get established on a bomb site.
Need to wait for that second smoke to fully plume before Yuri thinks of going for it. Henny does fire off a couple of shots. It's speculative. Nothing's connecting. Vinny, though, will with his SG and its bolts that's sent reeling out of the round. Nekis looking for a gap in the smoke, but there's nothing to be found. In Serato, it's going to be silenced by Steel's Mag 7, but the bomb's been planted. Able J and Vinny in good positions, although Able J is susceptible to getting spammed up through the boxes. Has already been put down to 50, make that 38. If they continue to do this, he's just going to run out of health. He's going to be a dead man. No grenades between the two teams.
No defuse kits, though, on the CTs.
So they have to get a move on. They're going to feel pressured. Vinny laid in wait. The SGs aren't going to work. Henny just comes through with the open USB frags. Luminosity aren't done just yet.
Well, does he have the time for the defuse here?
Yeah, he's got it.
Yeah, there we go. Just about at the very last 10th of a second. They do bring it back, so very important. And Henny, yeah, we talked about him having a bit of a struggle. What a round to come back in. 3 frags to his name. Well, actually 4. Definitely those 2 at the very end be the most important one. Back into timeout we go again. It feels like this is going to be the trend for us to close out this Mirage map. Whenever a team wins a round, it's going to be another tactical to talk things through.
Yeah, they kind of went free-flowing and more laid back in the first half, and now that we're getting to the business end, they can see the finish line. So much up for debate, so much on the table.
FURIA has been able to kind of bully around that B bomb side. They might go back towards that. Bit of a winning recipe for them so far on this T side. They haven't really opted too much in for having mid control, that kind of thing. We saw that much more out of Luminosity. Now it's been pretty much just Art sending in with a bunch of smokes and hoping that he can do something, at least keep people at bay, and a quick hit towards that B bomb side to really finish the round off. No immediate hit towards B this time around. More of a cookie cutter setup, 2-1-2.
This is pretty standard, pretty much as standard as it gets. Dropping the bomb towards T-spawn, declaration of intent. We're not going in anytime soon. Art just thinking about pulling the trigger. Double nades, not really going to do anything. If he peeks out now, that would have been a free kill onto Phelps, who is out in the open with no cover near him. But of course, there's no way of Art knowing that.
This moves past the smoke as well, so Steel not be might quite ready for this. Ar's really pushing the limits here with how far forward he is.
Seems like they're really trying to pivot off an Art play. They're trying to see if he can get a pick and they can convert into it, but he's been spotted now.
Phelps has rotated off. They have players in top mid as well, so they've got some map control, but I'm not sure what has actually led them to the rotation over towards 8.
Steel was so patient with that play. Nearly a second. Dinks Serato up close. Down to just 6, he will fall. Molotov into kitchen. Going to be jumping across Will Bolts, trying to really take the fight to them and catch them off guard. It seems like he hasn't had a kill in quite a while now, after a blistering first half.
Yuri's set up for the flank as well, but he needs to get a move on here. These players are starting to fall over on the B-bomb site. Oh, he's going to be hurt as well.
Oh, Phelps needs this kill quickly. Yuri's wasting valuable time. It could come down to Henny.
Oh.
In mid-air, he gets caught by K-Serato, and Phelps still going to go in. The tide's certainly stacked against him. K-Serato just 6 HP, has to play the time. There's not much left. The bomb timer is going to be the ultimate villain for Phelps. And he needs to back away to save his M4. And he's going to be denied that from K-Serato. Salt in the wounds.
And again, it's the B-bomb site. Time and time again. And I'm not really sure what leads to the rotation where you draw Phelps off the B-bomb site. You haven't really gotten any sort of information. You've put one player up in top mid. That was Nekis. But again, he hasn't spotted anything that leads you to believe that it's going to be an A hit. And the majority of the time where they found success on their T side, they've been ending up with B executes.
Yep.
And again, Fury showed that on Vertigo as well throughout the entire T side. If A is working for us, there's no need for us to really try anything out. It wasn't until we saw Luminosity string, what, 4 out of 5 rounds on the CT side together before they switched it up over towards the B-bomb site.
I mean, it goes back to yesterday when we were casting Overpass, and they just kept hitting B over and over and over and over again because it was the weakness.
Yeah.
So why the hell not?
Exactly. They're really following the mentality of, like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Mm.
And it seems like their opponents are constantly expecting them to change something up, and, I mean, they'll happily take it. And again, another tactical pause, as you'd expect.
I mean, now the onus is on Luminosity. What do we do to bolster up our B defense and force them elsewhere?
Yeah, well, if not even forcing them elsewhere, yeah, just putting up a solid enough defense to the point where you can actually retaliate.
It's not going to happen in this round. They've elected to go for a half-buy instead.
Yeah. And imagine now, if you look back at the first half, right, these 2 pistol rounds that they managed to drop the ball on the side of Luminosity, how much that actually matters. All right, just going to find the easy opener onto Phelps. And again, the B-bomb side is open for business. Vinny's going to create some chaos over towards A halls as well, but bomb's already slowly making its way towards B.
I would have liked to have had their hands on this SG and potentially save it for the next round. Vinny on 11 health has been finished off by Bolt, and I'd expect to see him try and save this. Maybe throw Henny into the lion's den. He only has a P250 and kits.
It can be a bit of a human shield for Bolts. Early danger indicator. Art's definitely making a lot of noise. He's actually dropped off his op in case he were to die, which is pretty heads up. He definitely wants to go hunting for some reason. He's still going to find that kill.
Yeah, I really like that touch because he had other players coming up behind him. He has Yuri there, so he knows that Yuri can go back and retrieve the AWP if they want to use it in the next round.
Yeah, I was about to say, though, they're moving pretty far away from it, but I guess it's not necessarily the most essential equipment of the T side, especially with the way Fury are playing.
I wonder if that's also a declaration that the next round is going to be more of a rush.
Could be, but to be fair, I mean, having an up has never really stopped Fury from rushing anywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
It is art after all. But yeah, it's a nice little detail from Art there to just make sure that no shenanigans happen. You don't accidentally let Phelps or Henny get a free op into the next round. So they're going to have to reinvest in themselves. And again, double op setups only really been successful for Luminosity so far on the CT side of Dust 2. And if you haven't noticed, this is Mirage. And, well, you talked about what are they going to do to shore up that B defense. 3 players, that's the answer.
And then, of course, wouldn't you know it, FURIA, they're going for A.
Well, at least for the time being. And now you can actually allow that one rotation to come off. Actually, they're going to rotate both players back. That's a bit of a disaster. And this is kind of the overreaction that we were fearing from the side of Luminosity. Luckily, though, FURIA seems to have actually wanting to go towards mid.
It's ironic that getting the first pick may actually end up losing them the round and the map.
Yeah. Steele's gotten into a pretty forward position, though, so he's going to spot out information early. He's also going to hear any sort of rotations coming in. But again, as you said...
Oh, there's so much pressure on Steele here, Van.
Well,
He's got one at least.
Shining through, and he's going to be a constant nuisance for them early on as well. They're going to keep an eye on B-apps the entirety of the time. That's going to allow for people to peel through. And he finds an opening as well.
Well, they're passing all the tests so far, but it's starting to get a little bit dicey. Bolts 1-on-2. Hasn't quite had the same level of impact on this CT side, but this would be one hell of a turn, or a time, I should say, to turn it back up again. Bomb hasn't been planted. It's going to afford him a little bit of a chance to get up close, and if he can get this first kill, but it's not going to happen.
Is he going to catch? No, he misses both opportunities to spot him out, but I guess
I think he's
just
realized
off the back of the bomb not going down, he's expecting a shift over to the A bomb side. He might catch Yuri here with the time being extremely low.
9 seconds. If that kill had landed, the bomb would have sprawled out. That could have been it. There's Abel J, and that's the end of the match. FURIA have cruise controlled their way into a 2-0. There were bumps, there were bruises, but they are going to move forward to the playoffs.
Yeah, so they finally managed to make it through. They got done what they came here to do. And I mean, on the side of Luminosity, there are promising signs, and I feel like it's just poor mid-game adjustments from them in terms of reading what FURIA are doing and kind of what the tendencies of FURIA are there that actually leads them to falling down here on the CT side. We saw that B-bombs that being punished so many times that even though FURIA were throwing them multiple different looks, right, as to what they wanted to do, they still ended up on that B-bomb side more often than not, and FURIA just kept, or I mean, Luminosity kept just overreacting to anything they saw.
Yeah, I've got to say though, I'm really excited to see what this Luminosity team has in store going forward. They're still a relatively new roster.
Yeah,
they've had quite a few changes to in-game leadership, Phelps obviously as well, and I think fast forward a good 3 to 6 months, this team could be really legit up there in sort of top 10, top 15 spot.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing a lot more positives out of them than what we did for the majority of a year, pretty much.
Yeah.
So getting Phelps in there definitely felt like a bit of a revitalizer. And I think, yeah, looks like Steel's in-game leadership, even though it does have some quirks to work out, is on the right path at the very least.
It certainly is, but on the other side, FURIA go from strength to strength. They had a rough start. They did get knocked down. It was a best of one, of course. You can maybe throw some excuses in there, but they have beat every team since then today. They've had 2 pretty good performances, but we're going to go ahead and throw it to Smix, who has an interview for us on the stage.
Indeed, you're right. Congratulations, you're moving forward to the playoffs, Art. It was a little bit of a longer road, but you've done it. You've secured that 2nd place. What is it like to finally make it to the playoffs?
Feels awesome. We started really bad, and it's always good to come back and qualify to the playoffs. It's awesome.
Let's talk about the series. It was 2-0, but Luminosity definitely put up a fight. Starting with Vertigo, especially on that first half, it feels like Luminosity is able to put up a much harder fight, at least on the T side. So it was really, really close back and forth. What was it like for you?
I think CT side was really hard for us. We kept losing rounds and breaking our economy and playing like half-buy rounds with an AWP and some bad guns. And after we got the game going, the T half was very easier for us.
I felt that way on Mirage as well, because once again, it was on the T side that Luminosity was able to put up a lot of numbers. Specifically, Bolt had a really massive performance. So what was it like playing against that?
I don't know. For CT, we played some rounds really bad. I think we played some key rounds badly. And it was not very good half from us, but from the T side, we played very well.
Well, now moving forward, you're going to be playing NRG, which is a team that you have a lot of experience playing against. Most recently, it was a loss at ESL1 Cologne, 16-7, and then before that, it was at ECS, where they beat you 2-0. So it's been a little bit difficult, but that being said, on the flip side, there's a lot to learn from. So what are your thoughts?
I think Energy is our nemesis. We always lose to them, but I think right now we are ready to meet them for the first time.
Well, we'll see how that goes. Congratulations once again. I'll let you get back to your team. Back to you guys.